Lisa was talking about our west side, what 95 did after we were occupied by the military, after Dr. King was murdered. The community, cutting off black families and business from jobs and opportunity. Chronic underinvestment. State and federal governments denied Greenwood even just a chance to rebuild. We must find the courage to change the things we know we can change. That's what Vice President Harris and I are focused on, along with our entire administration, including our Housing and Urban Development Secretary, Marcia Fudge, who is here today. Because today we're announcing two expanded efforts targeted toward black wealth creation that will also help the entire community. The first is my administration has launched an aggressive effort to combat racial discrimination in housing. That
Salute, Fresh. Salute.
To the cruel fact that a home owned by a black family is too often appraised at lower value than a similar home owned by a white family. And I might add, and I need help if you have answered this one, I can't figure this one out, Congressman Horsford. But if you live in a black community and there's another one on the other side of the highway, it's a white community, it's built by the same builder, and you have a better driving record than the guy with the same car in the white community, you're paying more for your auto insurance. Shockingly, the percentage of black American home ownership is lower today in America than when the Fair Housing Act was passed more than 50 years ago. Lower today. That's wrong. And we're committed to changing that. Just a minute.
See, this way you're gonna get the worldly events. You get what I'm saying? Stuff that's currently going on. You over here, you ain't gonna get that bashing. None of the antics or none of that. Like I said, I'm ready to be 40 in a couple of months.
Imagine. Instead of denying millions of Americans the ability to own their own home and build generational wealth, we made it possible for them to buy a home and build equity into that home and provide for their families. Second, small businesses are the engines of our economy and the glue of our communities. As president, my administration oversees hundreds of billions of dollars in federal contracts for everything from refurbishing decks of aircraft carriers and installing railings in federal buildings to professional services. We have a thing called, I won't go into it all, but it's not enough time now, but I'm determined to use every taxpayer's dollar that is assigned to me to spend.
Yo, it took a long time to get here, so I know it was a journey to get to 50, man. I'm telling you, salute to that, man. For real, for real. I got 10 more years before I'm where I'm, before I'm where you at. So that's where I'm striving for, to get to my damn 50s. I ain't trying to be lost in the 40s.
Going to American companies and American workers that build American products. And as part of that, I'm going to increase the share of the dollars the federal government spends to small disadvantaged businesses, including black and brown small businesses. Right now it calls for 10%. I'm going to move that to 15% of every dollar's counted.
And this is Biden. He's speaking currently right now.
I decided to do that. Just imagine, instead of denying millions of entrepreneurs the ability to access capital and contracting, we made it possible to take their dreams to the marketplace to create jobs and invest in our communities. The data shows.
Salute, Polo.
Black entrepreneurs are just as capable of succeeding given the chance as white entrepreneurs are. But they don't have lawyers. They don't have accountants.
I appreciate that shit, Polo. Like I was saying, like I'ma just now bring people like the current events and shit like that. I'm gonna let everybody else do the antics and bringing other people down on their platform. You get what I'm saying? I'm getting older. You get what I'm saying? So I be damn indulgent in bullshit. So I blame myself. So I'm ready to start acting my fucking age, so.
In the last 10 years, studies have been done by all the great universities. It shows that it increased by 56% the possibility of a child, no matter what background they come from, no matter what. If they start school at 3 years old.
So I appreciate you all again. Fresh Ain't Dead and Polo the Don. I swear I appreciate y'all.
They have a 56% chance of going all through all 12 years without any trouble and being able to do well.
Ready to pull some shit up. I'm gonna find some shit. So if I don't see no comments, trust me, I'm gonna come back and read them and stuff. I'm just learning how to share shit on my damn screen and shit too. So I'm gonna look up some shit. Yeah, I see Polo. I see you have been fell back. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, man. It's like every day. It's like somebody bashing somebody. You get what I'm saying? Making cartoons and pictures and shit, bringing the next motherfucker down. It's like every day is the same shit. And if somebody content wasn't based on bringing somebody down, man, you wouldn't even have no views going towards that person. Motherfuckers got 1K subs and all of that shit because of the antics. You get what I'm saying? The titles talking about bashing somebody or whatever. You get what I'm saying? So that shit crazy as hell.
And a chance to learn and grow and thrive in a school and throughout their lives. And let's unlock more than the incredible creativity and innovation that will come from the nation's historically backed colleges and universities. You know, I have a $5 million a year program giving them the resources to invest in research centers and laboratories in high demand fields to compete for good paying jobs in industries of the future like cybersecurity. The reason why they don't, their students are equally able to learn as well and get the good paying job that start at $90,000 and $100,000, but they don't have the money to provide and build those laboratories. So guess what? They're going to get the money to build those laboratories. So instead of just talking about infrastructure, let's get about the business of actually rebuilding roads and highways, filling the sidewalks and cracks, installing streetlights and high-speed internet, creating space to live and work and play safely. Let's ensure access to health care, clean water, clean air, nearby.
Wait, before you scroll away, you need to hear this. Republicans across the country are moving fast to enact massive voter suppression laws.
That have to be overcome are a constant challenge. We saw it in the 60s. But the current assault is not just an echo of a distant history. In 2020, we faced a tireless assault on the right to vote. Restrictive laws, lawsuits, threats of intimidation, voter purges, and more. We resolved to overcome it all, and we did. More Americans voted in the last election in the midst of a pandemic, than any election in American history. You got voters registered. You got voters to the polls. The rule of law held. Democracy prevailed. We overcame. But today, let me be unequivocal. I've been engaged in this work my whole career, and we're going to be ramping up our efforts to overcome again. I will have more to say about this at a later date, a truly unprecedented assault on our democracy, an effort to replace nonpartisan election administrators and to intimidate those charged with tallying and reporting the election results. But today, as for the act of voting itself, I urge voting rights groups in this country to begin to redouble their efforts now to register and educate voters. And in June should be a month of action on Capitol Hill. I hear all the folks on TV saying, why doesn't Biden get this done? Well, because Biden only has a majority of effectively 4 votes in the House and a tie in the Senate, with 2 members of the Senate who vote more with my Republican friends. But we're not giving up. Earlier this year, the House of Representatives passed For the People Act to protect our democracy. The Senate will take it up later this month, and I'm going to fight like heck with every tool at my disposal for its passage. The House is also working on the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, which is critical to providing new legal tools to combat the new assault on the right to vote. To signify the importance of our efforts, today I'm asking Vice President Harris to help these efforts and lead them among her many other responsibilities. With her leadership and your support, we're going to overcome again, I promise you, but it's going to take a hell of a lot of work. And finally, we must address what remains the stain on the soul of America. What happened in Greenwood was an act of hate and domestic terrorism with the through line that exists today still. Just close your eyes. Remember what you saw in Charlottesville 4 years ago on television. Neo-Nazis, white supremacists, the KKK, coming out of those fields at night, Virginia, with lighted torches, the veins bulging on their, as they were screaming. Remember, just close your eyes and picture what it was. Well, Mother Fletcher said when she saw the insurrection at the Capitol on January the 9th, it broke her heart. A mob of violent white extremists, thugs, said reminded her of what happened here in Greenwood 100 years ago. Look around at the various hate crimes against Asian Americans and Jewish Americans. Hate that never goes away. Hate only hides. Jesse, I think I mentioned this to you. I thought after you guys pushed through with Dr. King, the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act, I thought we moved. What I didn't realize, I thought we had made enormous progress. And I was so proud to be a little part of it. But you know what, Rev? I didn't realize hate's never defeated. It only hides. It hides. And given a little bit of oxygen, just a little bit of oxygen by its leaders, it comes out of there from under the rock like it was happening again, as if it never went away. And so, folks, we must not give hate a courage. Thank you for your commitment. Thank your children, your grandchildren, and your uncle, and your nieces, and your nephews. To see and learn from you